We plan to make history here this evening.
What's going on, everybody? Week 11 of the NFL season. Last week, okay for me. But it's hard to even get excited now when you have a good week because it just feels like you're fucking throwing darts.
Well, with us it does.
Well, no, what's funny is all the other YouTube guys, everybody watched, they all had the over in the Indy Rams game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, it's like, yep, just how we drew it up to get to the over. Rams scored 38 and the fucking Indy Colts scored 8.
What was the over-under on that one?
44.
Oh, wow.
And it was just funny seeing everybody's like, I hit it. And I'm like, did you? Just like you drew or just like you picked it up. A little bit better mood because of a better week. I didn't make any bets on NFL Sunday because I didn't get up.
Well, we kind of made one bet, which was a running bet for the whole year.
We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, actually Saturday you did some betting and we won. I don't know what the hell he did, but I know there's more money in the account.
I just picked 12 teams, just went straight up on NCAA, and they all hit.
There's nothing wrong going straight up and
then we hit a little bit of a progressive parlay on an 11-team progressive parlay. I got 8 right on the spread, so we won a little bit on that.
Yeah, money's money. I don't care how we do it.
So
just like that over and under is like I don't give a shit who covers it. Yeah, I'd take it anyway. But as we do it always, we actually are more in sync this week. Last week we were a little bit off of sync or out of sync when we disagreed on all but 3. This week a little bit better, so hopefully that's gonna turn. Because actually the ones we disagreed on, was it 3 or 4 last week?
there was 4 games we agreed on,
and we were 3-1.
3-1. So
So if we would have just did the video on that, we'd had a great fucking week.
and we'll talk about the game we lost that we agreed on later.
But let it scroll up. This is the ones we agree on. I got a new drink of choice. This is the Smirnoff Ice Sparkling Crisp Apple. It says it's seasonal, so I'm guessing it's not going to be around very long. But this shit is the bomb.
I see him scrolling this shit up in the closet somewhere because
I
it's
might
new
actually,
for you guys.
Yeah.
It's not new for us in the last month and a half.
Yeah, because we actually found it in Columbia one time when we were going to a Missouri game, and he bought it, and I was just like, damn. And the good thing is it's almost 5.8% in alcohol, which if you better be careful, because some of these Smirnoffs are like 4 or 5, you just get, you got to drink a fucking gallon of it just to get think about buzzing. And this stuff here you can actually drink pretty heavy and fast and get buzzed pretty quick. Alright, that's all we got. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing Blues gear right now. I got Cardinal hat Blues gear. I'm like marking out St. Louis hard, even though I'm a little pissed at the Cardinals because they had a chance to go get help at the deadline with whatever. I think it was Justin I was watching one of the guys, Justin from Bridgewater's Finest, and he was like, apologizing because he was wearing hockey gear during the video. He's like, I should be wearing football. I'm like, dude, that was like, hockey needs a big fan base. It's a great sport. Own it. Because right now, our Blues last night had a big test against the Avalanche, and we whipped the shit out of them last night.
on the scoreboard and in the fights.
Yeah, we beat them up physically and on the scoreboard, and that was probably the second big test. First big test of the year was probably playing Chicago, which we handled them pretty easily. Well, we didn't handle them easily. We won, and then I think did we go there and win
We went there and lost in overtime.
Lost in overtime, went here, but the Avalanche came in hot as shit, and literally we manhandled them. Holy crap! And that's the reason I'm kind of growing this, even though I almost shaved it this week because I'm getting a little sick of it. But anyway, all right, let's get started. First one we don't agree on. It's the Ravens going to Chicago. He's been fairly hot with the Ravens all season. I have not. In fact, last week I was like, which one are you doing? Ravens. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm taking the Ravens. I wasn't even going to even think about it. But I'm actually going to take the Ravens this week on the road against the Bears. I don't think Jake Cutler's playing again. Even when they brought him in last week and supposedly he was healthy, you could see he was struggling. Just for that fact, I really think the Ravens have an okay team. They get 3 points on the road. I just think they find a way to keep this close, kind of like the Lions did last week, even though they don't have the firepower. Don't get me wrong. They do not have the firepower that the Lions have, but I really think they're defensive-wise and being able to strategize for Chicago without Jay Cutler, they find a way to keep this within 3 points.
I don't know if I'm going with Chicago because of it, but Josh McCown came in last week and drove him right down the field for a touchdown late in the game when they brought him in. They played well at Green Bay. Granted, Rodgers got hurt early, but offensively they still looked good. The one thing I worry about with Chicago is the defense. They've got 14 sacks in 9 games. Not a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and I worry about the secondary, especially with Tillman being hurt. But they're at home. They had a close game last week against Detroit. To me, this is coming down to probably a must-win. Not a must-win, but this is a big key game in the year because they're a game behind Detroit. You don't want to get 2 back with only 6 left. Baltimore looked good against Cincinnati. I just don't know if they have enough. I expect Chicago to step up here and win this game, so I'm taking Chicago in the 3 points. Next game, we've got Arizona Cardinals going on the road to Jacksonville. Arizona is favored by 8.5 points. Jacksonville played well last week. I mean, Maurice Jones-Drew played well.
Great.
But I like Arizona here, not only for Fitzgerald and what I think the numbers he can put up. I like Arizona's defense. I think they have close to 30 sacks, not giving up a lot of points. I like Arizona to go on this. This is a must-win for them to be able to stay in because you've got Seattle and San Francisco ahead of them. St. Louis is right there behind them. Jacksonville won that game. It doesn't say a lot to me with Tennessee. I expect Arizona to go in here and win by at least probably 10-14.
Yeah, this is probably the first non-double-digit spread that Jacksonville's seen, and they've been double-digit dogs maybe week 1 or something like that. They might have.
They were 8.5-point dogs at home against San Diego.
Yeah,
like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
So I mean, they've been seeing these monster spread, and I just finally gave up. I just started going with Jacksonville, even though they just find a way to keep it within 20. But I mean, this is 8.5 here. I don't think the Cardinals are that much of a juggernaut team. I still think they're trying to find an identity. Carson Palmer can be Carson Palmer, and if Carson Palmer, it just takes just one bad week by Carson Palmer, and they lose this game too. And I'm just not a big fan of him. Larry Fitzgerald has been struggling to put up numbers. I mean, if you're a fantasy owner of him, you're probably, if you haven't dropped him because you just said fuck it. Well, I mean, if you're in a short league, you can drop him. If you have a big league, you still got to hold on to it, but you're probably just frustrated as all shit. And then I got a little problem with the way they're running their running back situation between Andre Ellington and the guy from Pittsburgh, Mendenhall. I don't think they know what they want to do, and they don't want to trust Andre Ellington. Last week, supposedly, he was supposed to get more touches, and I think he touched the ball like 10 times or something like that. Ridiculous, which I think he might actually be the better back. But if they're not going to decide on that right there, I think they're going to have troubles and find themselves in a close game with Jacksonville on the road, so I'm going to take the Jags. Next up, we have the Seahawks. I'm a little pissed with them, too, in these big spreads because they have not really been blowing anybody out when they should.
No, they haven't played well lately.
And that's why I'm going to take the Vikings. I don't know what it is. It's not that I'm a fan of the Vikings, but it seems like I'm finding myself rooting for Ponder lately because he's been kicked in the nuts so bad. And he's gone out there and he's not played that bad. Like I think I said in the last video or week before, I think Ponder is their quarterback that they've got to go with, at least on their roster right now. I mean, I think were they the ones that brought in Flynn or something like that?
They brought in Freeman from Tampa.
Yeah, well, and they threw him in right away, and it's like, whoa, it's like a big mistake. But like I said last week, Ponder with his legs, he's a leading rusher for quarterbacks. And I don't know if that's changed since last week, but I know of 2 weeks ago, he was the leading rusher out of the quarterbacks, which surprises the shit out of you. And as long as Adrian Peterson, who looked a lot healthier in the last couple weeks when I thought his health was declining, he actually still looks fairly healthy. Go ahead and give me the Vikings to hold within 12.5, even on the road with Seattle, because I just don't think Seattle's, even though I did 3 weeks ago, as dominant as they think they are. So
yeah, I agree. I think Ponder, he has stretches where he just throws some passes, and you're like, what the hell is that? But then he has stretches where he really moves that ball, the ball down the field. I don't think it's all Ponder, but I also kind of assimilate it to when St. Louis Rams had Bradford here. And you had Steven Jackson.
Yeah, it's like he's already gone. The way you just said that, it's like he's already gone.
Well, he's out for the year.
Yeah.
I know you'd like to see that. And the biggest problem was he didn't have a lot of receivers to throw to. I mean, name a receiver on the Minnesota Vikings.
Percy Harvin?
No.
No. Brad Simpson?
No, Jerome Simpson got arrested. Jerome Simpson got arrested this week.
Greg Jennings. He used to be a Pro Bowler.
Greg Jennings, yeah. He was a Pro Bowler because he played for Green Bay. Cordell Patterson hasn't done a lot.
I don't like this game.
I just what I'm saying is that you had a really good running back, which
Kyle Rudolph.
He's a tight end. Peterson is the best, if not one of the best in the league.
Chris
but
Carter.
You're going to Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
We could do this all day. Well, probably not.
Well, probably not.
But you're going to Seattle, and yes, Seattle had a close game at St. Louis, which doesn't look as bad now after going to Indianapolis last week and blowing them out by 30. That was just a good matchup for the Rams. Then you go home and you're down 21-0 to Tampa. Tampa's not, even though they were 0-8 or 0-7 going in that game, they're not that bad. I think they look better under Glenn. They did under Freeman. But I think I look at this game and see Seattle, after two really sluggish games, getting everything in place. And, I looked at Minnesota's, season so far, and they've been scoring 20, 24 points a game.
Is Percy Harvin playing for Seattle this week?
I don't know if he's playing yet.
I know they released him from that. Well, they took him off that PUP list.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be back this week. I expect Lynch to have a really good game. But Seattle at home, I don't care what the point spread is. I know they've dogged it the last couple of weeks, but I expect this to be the game they kind of get back on track. So I'm taking Seattle. Next game, this is probably the best game of the week.
Looking forward to this one.
We've got the Kansas City Chiefs going on the road to Denver. Denver is favored by 7.5 points. Kansas City defensively very solid. Offensively, they're good, but not anything. It's not like a quick scoring offense. Charles will get his yards. He'll get some receptions. I just don't know what else to expect out of the offense. And with Denver, the defense is getting its pieces back slowly but surely, and they're going to be, I think, by the end, one of the top 5 or 10 defenses in the league. But you've got this offense. I know Manning's a little banged up. I know Walker's a little banged up. I just don't see how you're going to keep this offense under 30, 35 points. And if that's the case, I don't see how Kansas City scores 27 or 28 points. So I'm taking Denver at home here. If this was in Kansas City and when they play in 2 weeks, I think, it'll probably be a different story and how I bet it. But for right now, this is a must-win for Denver. You don't want to get too back OKC, so I'm taking Denver.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, since you mentioned, what the point spread would be if this was in Kansas City.
I would say Denver would be favored by like 3, maybe.
I'd like that a lot better. I would take that actually on the road as opposed to this one. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs on the road right now. They are undefeated. I think if there's anybody that could probably get them ready for this game, it's going to be Andy Reid. You've got a quarterback in Castle that is mistake-free. He's not a quarterback. He's a quarterback. I think, actually, what did I hear? I was driving home today, and he's like the best. He's got the best record in the last 3 years of any starting quarterback or something crazy like that. He's like 29 or was it 29-6 or something crazy. But he's basically a mistake-free quarterback, and I mean that's what you have to be to beat a team like the Broncos. At 7.5 points, I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to win this game at all, but I really think they can keep it. I could see this being a field goal winning game at the end by Prater. Prater kicks a field goal to win this one. With Manning being a little banged up, it might actually help them in the long run. If it gets down, if there's a situation where they do get down early, the Chiefs have no shot. If they're down 18 points in the first, 18-0 or something in that situation, all bets are off.
18-0. You got six field goals,
something like that.
Safety, so it was 16-0. You got a safety.
All right, if it's 20-0 or
28-10 in the second.
Yeah, they're fucked. I mean, I don't think Kansas City's going to have an offense, but I think they actually keep this one close. This is even just say the Chiefs were not. Say they were 4-5 or whatever the fuck they could be right now at this time. This is a game that you got to kind of throw away the records, and it's always going to be close. I don't care who's playing. It's just weird how that works out sometimes. But go ahead and give me the Chiefs. And give me those 7.5 points. And last but not least, the Monday night game, 2 Ps. We have PP, the Patriots playing the Panthers. Patriots have been getting it done all year. Tom Brady's finally got Gronkowski back, which I think last week they targeted him 50,000 times, and I think what did Gronkowski have? 145 yards or something?
When
last week? Why
they were on a bye week last week.
Well, weekend before last.
Yeah, I don't remember what he had 2
Well,
weeks.
and I think with him getting back and being healthier, and even Amendola maybe starting to get to play, I'm going to go ahead and take the Panthers. The Panthers are hot as hell right now. Their defense, I think, is going to knock Tom Brady on his ass. And you knock Tom Brady on his ass, and he goes into that little baby mode, and I think he's going to struggle. So go ahead and give me the Panthers, -1.5 at home.
I like New England this game. You're coming off a bye week. You've had an extra week to get ready, heal some injuries, get ready for the Panthers. I'd be curious to see how well Carolina does offensively if they get down 2 scores, 14-0 or something early. Because the Patriots have the type of offense, especially, like he said, with Gronkowski, Amendola. Dobson's starting to look really good at wide receiver. I think Brady's getting his weapons. I still like New England's defense. It's not a bad defense. It's not a great defense. But I think they can do enough. If New England was favored by 1.5 points, I'd probably still take New England. But I think New England is the better team right now. I think Carolina, yes, is hot. They're playing well. Very good defense. I just don't know about the offense yet. I'll be curious to see how they handle this game. But I'm taking New England as, a dog. I just can't go against them. So give me New England in the points.
Sweet. That's what we got this week. Before we get out of here, we got our suicide pick of the week. We're done.
Fuck you, Tennessee.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I was not a very good math student, and algebra just blew me away. I was like, I thought this was the stupidest math ever, and here's why. Okay, let me just do a quick math equation. The Rams are R. They beat the Indianapolis Colts, who are I. So R is greater than Y. T is for the Tennessee Titans beat the Rams. So you got T greater than R, and then you have the J. The Jags beat the Titans, who beat the Rams, who beat the Indianapolis Colts, which means J is greater than I. That's why. Huh?
You say I or Y?
No, J is greater than I, which means that the Jaguars are better than the Colts. See, that's fucked up. Fuck. What the fuck? Well, Jay Clocker gets hurt, and I'm sure that had a little bit to do with it. Fitzpatrick came in late, and he's probably one of the better backup quarterbacks you could have in the league.
But they were losing when Locker was in the game.
Yeah, and it's just bullshit.
On any given Sunday, anything can happen.
You lost. I tell you what, if the Giants would have lost that game, which they were, I think, were trailing at one point late to the Raiders, I think it was 89% of most suicide leagues were done after that one. I mean, you had it was just amazing because in the one we're on Sportsbook, I think 68% might have had the Titans beating the Jaguars. I think actually the next one was the Giants beating the Raiders, and the next one after that was the Colts beating the Rams. And it's just amazing how they just literally. I think I'm on Twitter, which is I don't even know my fucking Twitter handle right now. Oh, @STLJason Lee, man.
How do people expect people to find you?
I really no. It's B Daddy J Productions. You can find it that way. But I tweeted out Black Sunday for suicide leagues, and that was early, and then it actually ended up coming true. Which, fuck it.
I just couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either, and I thought there was a chance. I think that I didn't see it because I don't have a Sunday ticket this year, but I think Indy had the ball a minute to go.
Yeah.
And what happened? I didn't watch it. I was so pissed
You mean
off.
Tennessee?
Tennessee had the ball.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that in Detroit, the 09 Detroit Lions got together and popped champagne for being the only winless team after Tampa won on Monday night. So.
And the Miami Dolphins can pop theirs this year, right now.
No, they can't.
Well, they count in San Francisco.
Kansas City's undefeated, but they're going to lose. But the 0-16 team, undisputed again this year.
That's all we got. Do we do anything else after this?
No, I don't think so.
All right, it's Friday night. Try and get these up as quick as possible.
Did you put Indianapolis on ours? We took Indy last night. We broke. Not that it mattered. It was a push.
We took Indy. See.
So
That's all we got. See you guys next week. If you have a chance, try these.
they're really good.
They are really good. And if you drink them fast enough, you can get a real good buzz. So.
Right.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.